All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on live with Random Wrestling Talk episode number 7, part 2. My computer randomly just decided to shut down for no good reason. Anyway, continue on, Matthew, what you were finishing up, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Again, what I was saying was that Vince is screwing over the NXT stars that go to the main roster, and for whatever reason, Triple H needs to take helm and just start running the company as it should. Because currently, right now, there is really nothing Vince could possibly do to save his own company from going under. Yes, it's a big company and worth lots of millions, but once the fans, decide to up and leave, which I'm just seeing a lot of them have one foot out the door, WWE is not going to last, and it's going to basically turn into WCW scenario. That's all I gotta say.
Well, personally, I kind of feel that right now, the way the company is, I think WCW would actually win back in its worst time, personally. I think WCW had a better roster than fucking WWE's roster at the current state it's in right now.
Yes, and that's
Um,
because all their big time competitors are injured. And again, that's because they need to cut down on the house shows, like we've been discussing, what other people have been discussing.
personally,
Anyway,
I personally I feel 100% I agree with that. I think they should do a Raw, SmackDown, and one live event 3 times a week. That's it. That's all.
yes, and if they want to do some sort of tour, they need to have at least maybe one tour, medium scheduled, and then one tour, out of the country, and one big tour, just get it out of the way.
I mean, that works too. Personally, I mean, they're overkilling these guys. These guys are getting injured left and right with without a moment's hesitation. I mean, they're falling apart at the seams. Sin Cara's injured. He got a fucking shoulder injury. I mean, these guys are flat out just dropping like flies. By the time we get to WrestleMania 32, they might not even have a roster for all we know. Roman Reigns could get injured for all we know.
Don't say that, because now you're going to just jinx it. Anyway,
Actually, personally, a lot of people probably would enjoy seeing that happen because then we'd get a different kind of result and not know what the hell's going to happen.
okay, now, unless we have anything else to discuss, this will probably be the last topic of the night, and that is what Vince, not WWE, but Vince, is doing to Charlotte by putting her together with her father, Ric Flair. Granted, I kind of like the idea of seeing Flair, you know, on TV because he's, Ric Flair, but putting him together with Charlotte, even though she mentioned when she first started that she didn't want to be separated from her father's legacy, wanted to be her own woman, comparator wise, it's
Yeah.
not doing, it's not helping her. She's basically following in her father's shadow, and granted, with Paige gone injury wise, I don't know. They need a top heel competitor. That's fine. You can make Charlotte a heel, but you don't have to make her imitate Ric Flair to a T.
Well, that's the thing. She was a heel in NXT. I know that for a fact at one point.
Yeah, she was,
And
and she didn't have to, and she did not, imitate.
Ric Flair completely or
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah,
And I think that that's sad, really, because that kind of just makes her look like she has no, uh,
individual.
no individuality. She's just living in her father's footsteps, and I think that's just idiotic. I mean, and it's the same thing with Roman Reigns. Vince McMahon wants Roman Reigns to be the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, number one, quite a few things Vince McMahon has done with Roman Reigns. He has done a horrible job trying to have him imitate Stone Cold Steve Austin and their little pathetic rivalry that's going on, which is
What they're doing,
sickening and pathetic.
yeah, what Vince is trying to do with Roman Reigns cannot even come close to what him and Stone Cold. did back in the day. But one
Hell,
thing,
he can't even match up to what the shit he did with Triple H and him in 1999. 99, they were at one point enemies, and
yes,
they
in
were.
fact, you can even question what he's doing with Roman Reigns. Can't even compare what he and Shane and the whole DX rivalry was up to. Even though that still was somewhat good, somewhat bad, depending how your viewpoint is. The problem is Vince, Roman Reigns, it's not working for anyone. It's bad for Roman Reigns to have to be in this thing with Vince. It's bad for Vince to even be on TV to begin with. And if what you said is true, that they're going to eventually do this whole Triple H and Roman Reigns thing at WrestleMania, I pray that Reigns is not champion.
Well, here's the thing. JD has already said this, and I agree with him, or it's going to be the other way around. He thinks that Triple H is going to show up randomly at the Royal Rumble match. He's going to be an entrant. He's going to win the world title. I don't like that idea, and I sure as hell don't like this idea. Roman Reigns retaining the title. Either way, it's a fucking shitty idea. Personally, these two guys shouldn't be facing each other for a belt if they're going to have those two guys face each other. It should be a singles competition grudge match. That's all it should be.
Triple H is a great wrestler and a great competitor. I'll give him that. I have all the respect for Triple H as a wrestler. Problem is, he's, taking up the office management position now. And if he wants to wrestle, fine. He can be that one guy at WrestleMania match. All those other matches he's done so far were good. Say what you want, say what you will about him and Sting, yada yada, but you have to admit him and Daniel Bryan was a good match.
Oh, that was fucking fabulous match. There's no doubt about that. I was very entertained by that match. It was actually by far the best match on the card. It was better than the fucking main event, to be honest with you.
So Triple H wants to be, have that be the one guy match at WrestleMania besides the whole Undertaker match. Basically, if you want to have an Undertaker match and a Triple H match, I'm okay with that. But for Triple H to come back and do the rivalry with Roman Reigns and win the title and then make it about the WWE title, that's just putting emphasis on the authority, saying they have total control, yada yada. It's basically ripping off the corporation angle from back in the day, and it's just not going to please anyone.
It's not. I wouldn't be happy with Triple H winning the title, and I wouldn't be happy Roman Reigns retaining the title in such a
lose-lose
big
situation
obstacle
for fans. It's a lose-lose situation. Again, Triple H wants to have that one match at WrestleMania. Fine, he deserves it, but don't make it about the title. I mean, if you want to make him an obstacle involving the title, like you did with Daniel Bryan, that's fine, but don't make it about the title, for God's sakes.
They're supposed to headline the main event. They're supposed to be the main event, actually. So that just scares me right there, because if it is about the main event, then chances are the world title is going to be the fucking main.
It's going to be overshadowed. That's what's going to
happen. No, it's not going to be overshadowed. It's going to be in one of them, or they're going to be the title holder. That's what's going to happen.
It's still going to be about, the title's not even going to be a match. It's going to be about those two having a grudge match, and the title's not even going to be involved. It's going to be involved in the match, but it's going to be overshadowed by the rivalry, and that's not.
Personally, if they want to put the Triple H and Roman Reigns grudge match as the headline of WrestleMania, I kind of frown upon that. But at least the title wouldn't be possession, and you'd see somebody else.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry I keep interfering, but here's another thing. There's no way that Brock Lesnar would not compete in the Rumble match, even though he claimed on TV he didn't want to be in the match to begin with, if he was going to win the title. So obviously, since we're not going to see Daniel Bryan, I want to see at least Brock Lesnar walk away with the title.
Now, I would like to see Bray Wyatt win the title.
That'd be a really interesting dark horse win to come out of nowhere, and I have to see what they would do for that. And we'll just have to find out. Anyway, you got anything else you want to say?
Well, yeah, I want to add to the Bray Wyatt thing, him actually winning the title. The things that they could do with this guy would be outstanding. Like, he could do like what The Undertaker did to Vince McMahon, or, you know, Bray Wyatt fighting against authorities, trying to take over the WWE with the Wyatt family, you know, capturing other people. You know, like for instance, if they were to do a rivalry with Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar, you could go ahead and have Paul Heyman in the situation where he's captured and tortured by the Wyatt family or something, and Brock Lesnar is trying to save his ass and everything else in the whole storyline. I think that would be pretty fucking cool. I don't mean make it cheesy or anything, but try to make it, you know, like it's normal, but at the same time like an action-packed type of storyline movie type of thing with the world title on the line at the same time. I think that would be freaking awesome. I really would love to see something like that.
Basically, if anyone wins the title and it's not wins the Rumble and wins the title and it's not Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, they have an open slate for an interesting storyline. And like I said, if Bray Wyatt wins, they could do something interesting with him, making it all dark and twisted. Anyone who wins that title, they're basically given an open slate for an interesting storyline if they do it right.
And then another shocker: AJ Styles wins the world title.
That would be
That'd be
that would be the
cool.
that would be the most greatest bombshell that could possibly save WWE for AJ to come out of nowhere and just win the title.
And then to top it all off, you have AJ Styles bringing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship onto NXT and working with the young stars there, and then also defending the title on WWE programming at the same time.
To do that, then claim that AJ had originally signed for WWE as an NXT star, and for him to just come in the Rumble, you know, quote unquote, unexpectedly and capture the WWE title for NXT, that opens the floodgates for an NXT WWE storyline rivalry. And my God, NXT would dominate because they've already dominated every fucking week. But to prove that they are better than the roster by competing against the main roster, that's just sum it up right there. Excellent storyline.
Well, I have to tell you one thing. I think that would get over for WrestleMania 32. You have a fucking humongous rivalry with the WWE and NXT superstars going into WrestleMania. You got so many different possibilities. I mean, you don't have to use all the guys that work in NXT, but use some of the big names that you have and work them in a storyline against the WWE and have AJ Styles defend the world title against somebody from the WWE and then have him lose at WrestleMania, and there you go. And Triple H and Roman Reigns get their main event.
For one thing, if AJ wants to form this and reestablish, say, the Bullet Club with NXT stars, that'd be great. You can already name. You already know who he'd pick for, you know, as his partners.
Yeah, that's very obvious. But anyway, at this time, everyone, it's been great talking. I do apologize to everybody about the issue with my internet and so forth, with my computer and so forth. But anyway, I do thank you guys very much for tuning in. That's the end of part 2. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Signing out, Bruce, and Matt from World of Wrestling, and Matt from his channel that he doesn't do a damn thing on. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments and opinions down below, and layeth the smacketh down on that subscribe button. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.